Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Monday, March 21, 2022. The National Housing Trust, NHT, has developed a new financing and product delivery framework that is intended to significantly increase the supply of new housing solutions. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the new framework will see the NHT and Bank of Jamaica BOJ-regulated mortgage lending institutions partnering to fund full mortgage disbursements of up to $6.5 million. Through this arrangement, the full mortgage disbursement to NHT contributors, including the NHT's portion, will be fully financed by the partner institution.
The NHT will then pay directly to the institution the difference between the interest rate charged by the institution and the interest rate charged by the trust. Madam Speaker, this will relieve the NHT of the cash required to fund the principal amount of the mortgage up front, and this will be funded by the partner institution. It is important to note that the mortgagor will not be in any way impacted by this, as the interest rate payment will be exactly the same as if the funds were accessed directly from the NHT.
The Prime Minister made the announcement during his 2022-23 budget debate presentation in the House of Representatives last Thursday. He also announced that effective July 1, the National Housing Trust, NHT, will revise its policy on subsidies for home ownership. Currently, subsidies are applied by one or more of three general criteria: interest rate subsidies for special groups, interest rate subsidies based on income, or price subsidies applied to the selling price of a housing solution within a development. Going forward, income will be the sole determinant in the application of a subsidy.
The Trust will revise its policy on subsidies in an effort to ensure that they are applied to those who are most in need.
Beginning July 1, all new loans will also be subject to a periodic review to determine whether the level of subsidy given at the opening of the loan is still required or whether a greater or lesser subsidy is needed. In related news, the National Housing Trust, NHT, is doubling its disability grant benefit. Effective July 1, individuals who qualify can each receive a grant of up to $300,000, an increase from the previous $150,000 ceiling. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says this will be applicable up to a maximum of 2 persons per household living with disabilities. The Disability Grant Program was introduced in July 2017.
Under the program, NHT mortgagors with disabilities who reside with and care for a family member with disabilities are eligible for a grant to be used to retrofit or upgrade the dwelling to make it suitable to serve their needs.
Mr. Holness also announced that the NHT will allow up to 3 contributors to apply for a 2-bedroom or larger unit to better improve affordability.
This policy position ensures that more persons, particularly family members, can access housing.
He says a key provision of this policy is that proof must be established that the applicants are bona fide family members and have demonstrable kinship ties. For example, wives, husbands, children, and siblings. In other news, government will be providing $1 billion in the upcoming fiscal year for the employment of temporary teachers to help students recover from learning loss experienced during the disruption of face-to-face classes. This will be primarily facilitated through the Ministry of Education and Youth's Extra Lessons program. In making the announcement, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says that since the launch of the program, 2,100 students have registered for the online teaching method, while 11,926 have registered and are now engaged in face-to-face extra lesson classes. A further breakdown of the registration shows that 6,175 are secondary students, while 5,751 are from primary schools.
I want to encourage all our students and parents to take advantage of this extra lesson support to begin to make up for the learning loss.
The men and women of the Franklin Town Police Station now have a more comfortable environment in which to work and serve the public following extensive refurbishing of the facility. The $41.8 million project was undertaken by the Jamaica Social Investment Fund through the European Union-funded Poverty Reduction Program. It included construction of a reception area, officers' lounge, investigative office, briefing, interview, and storage rooms. There are also 4 barracks and a kitchenette. At the official handover ceremony last week, Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang said this was ongoing work to improve the working environment and provide critical resources for police officers.
The purpose of retrofitting and repurposing and redesigning our police stations, providing with vehicles, the communication and the tools to fight crime, is even more critically is to prevent crime. This is all part of the process.
The Franklin Town Police Station is among 6 stations across the island that have benefited from renovation works through the Poverty Reduction Program at an overall cost of approximately $235 million. And finally, their Royal Highnesses, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, will pay an official visit to Jamaica from March 22 to 24. The trip is part of a 1-week visit to the Caribbean to commemorate the 70th anniversary or Platinum Jubilee of the coronation of Her Majesty the Queen. The Queen has visited Jamaica on 6 occasions, the last being in 2002 to mark her Golden Jubilee. Their Royal Highness's arrival in Jamaica will coincide with activities commemorating the 60th anniversary of the country's independence. A communique from Kensington Palace indicates that the couple's itinerary includes courtesy calls on the Governor-General, the Prime Minister, and the JDF Chief of Defense Staff. They will also attend a state dinner at King's House, visit the Shortwood Teachers College, Spanish Town Hospital, and the Caribbean Infantry Training Center. The visit will be the first joint official overseas tour of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge since the onset of COVID-19 in 2020. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.